and how to protect our. And at the same time, we would like to know from the police how to report and how to public policy Twitter India. Welcome to the panel, Shagufta. Shruti Moge is the policy program manager, Facebook. Glad to have you on the panel, Shruti.
Thank you, Anandita. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Also with us today is Sri P.V. Sunil Kumar, ADG P.V. Sunil Kumar Sir of Andhra Pradesh Police, and SPCID Radhika Madam of Andhra Man, and Sunil Kumar Sir. May I request you to give the opening remarks?
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. Hi, good morning everyone. వెబినార్ వీక్షిస్తున్నటువంటి అందరికీ కూడా నమస్కారం. మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే ఈ రక్షాబంధన్ కార్యక్రమంలో భాగంగా ఈ రోజు ఆన్లైన్ లో ఎలా సేఫ్ గా ఉండాలి, సోషల్ మీడియాని యూజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఎలాంటి జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాలి అనే టాపిక్ మీద మాట్లాడడానికి మనకు ఫేస్బుక్ నుంచి, ట్విట్టర్ నుంచి, అలాగే ఈ రక్షాబంధన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ డిజైన్ చేసినటువంటి మన సిఐడి ఏడీజీ శ్రీ పివి సునీల్ కుమార్ గారు ఉన్నారు. మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే సునీల్ కుమార్ సార్ గురించి చాలా మందికి ఏపీలో వాళ్ళకి ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. అండ్ ఐ హోప్ షాగుప్తా విల్ బి నోయింగ్ అవర్ ఏడీజీ సార్. అండ్ లెట్ మీ టాక్ అబౌట్ అవర్ సార్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఇంట్రడ్యూసింగ్ సార్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. సార్ 1993 బ్యాచ్ కి చెందినారండి. సార్ ప్రెసెంట్ గా సిఐడి అడిషనల్ డైరెక్టర్ జనరల్ గా, అదే విధంగా ఏపీ పోలీస్ హౌసింగ్ కూడా మేనేజింగ్ విసి అండ్ ఎండిగా ఉన్నారు. సార్ ఒక గొప్ప టెక్నాలజీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ అయినటువంటి పోలీస్ ఆఫీసర్. సార్ ఒక రైటర్ కూడా, మీ అందరికీ తెలిసే ఉంటది. సార్ ఇంతవరకు ఒక 40 స్టోరీస్, 3 నావెల్స్ రాశారు. సార్ ఇన్నోవేటివ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని ఎప్పటికప్పుడు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఈ లెర్నింగ్ అనేది అంటే ఇంటి పట్టునే ఉండేసి ఎవరైనా సరే పోలీస్ ఆఫీసర్స్ రెగ్యులర్ ట్రైనింగ్ కి రాకుండానే క్లాసెస్ లో ఎప్పటికప్పుడు అప్డేట్ అవుతున్నటువంటి అమెండ్మెంట్స్ గురించి కూడా తెలుసుకోవడానికి ఈ లెర్నింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశారు. అదేవిధంగా ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ కేసెస్ అన్ని కూడా త్వరితగతిన పూర్తి కావడం కోసం రియల్ టైమ్ డాష్ బోర్డ్ ని ఒకటి ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశారు పీసీఆర్ యాక్ట్ లోని కేసెస్ కోసం. రీసెంట్ గా 4S హెల్ప్ లైన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసాం. ఇది కూడా సార్ యొక్క బ్రెయిన్ చైల్డే. ఇలా ఇన్నోవేటివ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ తో పోలీసింగ్ ని యాక్టివ్ గా ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్తూ పబ్లిక్ కి సర్వీసెస్ చేయడం కోసము వీలైనంత కొత్తగా స్మార్ట్ గా అందరికీ రీచ్ కావాలి, త్వరితగతిన ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ చేయాలనేసి సార్ ఫస్ట్ నుంచి చేస్తూనే ఉన్నారు. ఫస్ట్ టైం ఇన్ ద హిస్టరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఒక పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ కి ISO 2000 సర్టిఫికెట్ రావడం కూడా సార్ మెదక్ ఎస్పీగా ఉన్నప్పుడే జరిగింది. సో ఇంకా కూడా ఫ్యూచర్ లో మన ఏపీ ప్రజల కోసం సోషల్ మీడియాలో ఎలా సేఫ్ గా ఉండాలి ఏంటి అని చెప్పడం కోసం ఇలా ఇంకా కొత్త ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ కూడా రావడం జరుగుతుంది. So now I say a few words about how to stay safe online. And for the panelists, our ADG sir is I know that you might have got the profile from the moderator Rao Garu from Cyberpeace. Anyhow, I'll tell you later as the time is running short. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika. And morning, Shagupta ji and Shruti ji. Shagupta, we met in Vizag, I think.
Yes, sir. We met in Vizag.
Yeah. We had a meeting with all social media giants. So we had a coordination meeting, and after that, lot of improvement, good response from your side, from the platform owners and all. So happy to see that. Happy to see you again. And for the benefit of our viewers, just please keep in mind that many people think that entering into social media and giving all their details, their family pictures, family time photos, they share every detail, their personal details like date of birth, which is a very crucial information. That also is made public on their profiles. They give their mobile number. They make literally available of all their biography, which school they went, which college they went, where they went for holidaying, their mobile number, everything. So isn't it a vulnerability in the viewpoint of their personal information is concerned? So how much do you advise them to share everything on Facebook? As you know, when the Facebook was initiated, the purpose of Facebook was to have interaction among the peers, the buddies who know, like your schoolmates, classmates, college mates, your colleagues. So interact with the people you know. But now that purpose has been changed entirely. So everybody is having 5,000 friends, 6,000 friends, which humanly is not possible. And they are sharing every information with not only with those 5,000, but anybody who would like to learn about them. Isn't it putting them in the little bit of security risk as far as their personal information privacy is concerned? What are the steps you are taking to prevent the vulnerability, this privacy breach vulnerability to your clients? That is what I would like to know. And second thing I would like to put into your notice is a lot of abuses in the form of comments or resharing or whatever it is. Lot of harassment, stalking, and harassing is happening. It is happening to male, female, and people in high positions. This trolling is happening, abusing is happening, use of vulgar language, bad language against them is also happening. What are the steps you are taking from your side to safeguard dignity of women and dignity of your subscribers? That is one thing I would like to know. And then there is the blatant expression of gender bias, blatant expression of caste hatred, blatant expression of racial hatred. This is all happening very openly. So what are the steps you are going to take to prevent such tendencies? That is number one. And what are the suggestions you are going to give to the subscribers, especially ladies, to safeguard their privacy security and to keep up their dignity? This is all I would like to know. And I will be happy if you can share how many subscribers you have in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and how many of them are male, how many of them are female, and how many of them are kids. If it is possible, you can please share. Thank you. This is all from my side.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Shagufta, let's start with you because sir has wanted some data from you. The social media space is no different from the real world media scenario, because here too we have, as sir pointed out, cyberbullying, extortion, trolling, ransomware, duplicate accounts, fake profiles, etc. So we need to know how to keep women and children safe online in such a place, and so that they have the best experience without being threatened or without their accounts or data being compromised. We all have had these feelings and experiences of having a large number of Twitter followers one day, to find just the next day a number of followers have been cleaned up by Twitter because they were all fakes. So how does a user know which is fake, which is true? How does a user differentiate between safe conversation and unsafe? Or what will the user do if there is objectionable content? What are the safety and privacy features offered by Twitter? Shagufta, over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Anandita. And thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you again. Of course, now in a VC format, but it's a new life for all of us. It's good seeing you. I think there were a lot of questions for me.
Shagufta, I think we have lost connection with you. Hello, Shagufta, can you hear us? I let Shagufta come back online. And Sunil sir, should we move on to Shruti till then?
I think she can do the same thing. She can answer the same issues, like there's a hatred and all these things. Yeah.
Yes. Shruti, 241 million last seen Facebook users in India, of which 70% are male and the rest female. There's a lot of interaction, family, friends, school friends group, everything happening online. It's a place where people go for networking and finding more friends rather than learning and sharing. It's also a place where you promote business, where you promote your talents. People use Facebook extensively in India. Also the Insta app, there are already 100 million users. So as Sir has already pointed out, can you take us through the risk minimizing policy of Facebook and what you all are doing? What are the new features being offered that users should be aware of? The Facebook problems are cyber bullying. It's a very big problem that we see, especially among children. For women, it is abuse, stalking, cyber stalking and cyber abuse, trolling, and taking of pictures and then asking for them to meet them outside or asking for money. It happened to a man also in Karnataka last month. He had reported to police because some woman was blackmailing him. So kindly take us through the whole thing on Facebook safety.
Hi, thank you for first of all giving me this opportunity to talk about online safety. This is something that we take extremely seriously across all our platforms. And I think I would definitely like to start this conversation by talking a bit about how, COVID has fundamentally changed the way we live, we work and we connect. We are all working from home. The way we are connecting, right now is very different, something that we did not imagine. People are relying more and more on technology than ever to stay connected, from communicating with their friends and families to navigating information around the pandemic to connecting with services such as banking, education, learning, engaging in trade and commerce, accessing markets, accessing entertainment. We have moved our entire lives online in a very different manner. And I think this is a structural shift that I think may continue, in the future as well. So we all understand that internet, with its opportunities that it provides, has also been misused by bad actors for abuse, for harassment, and you rightly pointed out that women, children, some vulnerable groups are more prone to that kind of abuse. So taking into account that we have those risks, there is a bunch of things that actually Facebook does. So Facebook has a 5-pronged approach to safety. The first approach is essentially that we have very, very strict policies, which are our operational guidelines across Facebook and Instagram that we call our community standards. These guidelines basically dictate on what is okay to share on the platforms and what is not okay to share. And if it is something that is violating, the content gets taken down. If you look at our recent transparency report, we've actioned millions of pieces of content on adult nudity, on sexual activity, on child nudity, and it's all out there. So people should definitely go and sort of read that. We've also announced a recent update to address how we deal with rape threats on our platforms. And so going forward, we will disable all profiles and accounts that make severe rape threats. And these are the threats that endanger women's not just mental well-being but also their physical safety, and they have no place on our apps. The second pillar that we have is essentially the tools. There are many tools, and more information is available on the Safety Center, but there are tools that we've developed to give people the power to control what they see about them and what they want to see about others on Facebook. There are comment moderation filters, there are reporting tools, there are blocking tools, there are privacy and safety security check-ins that you can do just to make sure that you're not that you feel safe on the platform. In addition to that, we have partnerships, and we invest a lot in education. You would have heard about a recent investment in the CBSE partnership where we are going to train students on how to stay safe online. And it is a mixture of digital safety and mental well-being, because that has obviously emerged as a concern, especially during COVID. So we have these partnerships that we forged. Even we work very closely with the National Commission for Women, Cyber Peace Foundation, Center for Social Research on our program on We Think Digital. These are resources that we also provide. On the Instagram side, we have the Counter Speech Fellowship, which is a teen fellowship that we run with WILAC, and it has over 400 fellows across India. We've also, in during the COVID time, there has been a growing concern around rise in domestic violence cases. So, and it was, it started since the lockdown actually began. And so, in order to provide an easy platform to the victims of domestic violence, we recently worked with National Commission for Women to create a verified WhatsApp helpline. And we also, because we are also champions of women's safety, we've announced the third edition of We the Women, which is a campaign we run with Barkhadat to support women's issues and create an inclusive space for constructive dialogue around gender and inclusivity. And this year's focus is going to be on the campaign about how there have been conversations around COVID and its social, economic, and cultural impact on women. So this is a broad range of work that we do to make sure that our platforms are safe, especially for women and children.
Thanks, Shruti. Sunil sir, would you like to sum up what she had said?
Yeah. I would like to ask one question about. Shruti said that there is a rise in domestic violence in the pandemic time. So, do you have any data to support that?
So this is the National Commission of Women data that we have, because the partnership essentially has been with National Commission for Women. So it's that data that we have looked at.
Do you have any data for me? Actually, do you have any NCRB data or anything, something like that?
For NCRB data, I think I'll have to check, and we can get back to you on the exact data. But it's all available online. It's public data. It's not something that we have actively gone and conducted research on, but it's all publicly available data.
Okay, but as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned, we have verified data, and actually there is no such rise. At least the reported data is not supporting that, at least in our state. So that's why it is an assumption that it is happening. It is on rise and all, but we have verified in our state the reported crime data has not supported. So that is why I'm asking. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, that's all from us.
Thank you, Shruti. That was a lot. I would like to come back to you later on if you have time. Shagufta?
Yes, I'm sorry, apologies for the internet connection.
Okay.
I think this has also become a new norm for a lot of us. I think I'll just get right into it. As Twitter, we are a global company and we are committed to serving the public conversation. As a service, what we allow is different voices across the spectrum to be heard and seen. And we actually work very hard towards striving and sort of protecting this. Also, on our platform, abuse, harassment, hateful conduct, etc. have no place. And we have very, very strict rules against that. And we sort of continue to take action on accounts that sort of stifle someone's ability to speak or actually engage in a behavior which undermines public conversation. I think to answer questions around specifically on the safety features, what I'll do is I'll dive into a presentation which just has a couple of slides, which will give you an elaborate picture on what are the safety features available on the service to all our users. So if I can just quickly share my screen.
Sure.
Are you able to see my screen? I just want to confirm.
Not yet. Yeah, we can see it now.
All right. So when it comes to safety, we've sort of taken a new and different approach, wherein we are trying to have more and more feedback, more and more conversation about how to tackle the kind of problems that are often come in our way. But it's very, very important to understand what our principles are, what as Twitter we stand for. First and foremost, we are a platform that allows the ability to everyone to express themselves freely. We are not here to take sides. We actually allow all sides of the conversation to come up. We treat everyone on our platform, on our service equally, and our Twitter rules apply to all. You are free to express your point of view. You are free to have an opinion as long as you do not engage in violations of the Twitter rules. There were some questions around abuse and what we have been doing as a company to tackle this. This is a very, very important feature and a development that I'd like to highlight. As a company, we've actually been leveraging technology on a very, very proactive basis to keep our account holders safe. Today, when you look at Twitter, 50% of the abusive content, I'm talking 50% of the abusive content is actually proactively removed through our own technology rather than on user reports alone. In fact, what we've also seen, when we refer back to our Twitter transparency report, 105% increase in the number of accounts that were actioned on account of Twitter rule violations. Of course, the action could mean in terms of, they were had to serve a lockout, they weren't able to tweet for a couple of hours, or the account was eventually suspended. But yes, this is the kind of action that we are taking. We are using our technologies proactively to actually identify and take action on abuse. Now I'll just sort of jump into some of the options that are available to our users. The first and foremost is safe search. What that basically means is that when you actually go through this, it will remove tweets that may contain potentially sensitive content. It will also filter out content from blocked or muted accounts. So in a sense, it actually declutters your timeline. You'll be able to only see relevant content and also content which you feel is safe and something worth viewing. We also have something called sensitive content, wherein there is an initial masking that happens, wherein if there is certain kind of offensive content or content which may have certain kind of photographs or a video which may contain potentially sensitive material, it'll ask the user that this may have potentially sensitive material. Do you want to go ahead and still see it? So that option remains with our users to actually see the kind of content they wish to see. The other very important perspective that we've now introduced is that we are giving more and more control to our users on how they manage the conversations. Last year, we actually introduced, something I'll just sort of talk about it, which is hide replies, wherein a user, when I am tweeting today, if I get 10 replies, I have the ability to actually hide, say 2, 3, many ever replies, which I feel are not relevant to the conversation that I want to have. So those are the new kind of options that we are giving to our users. This is a quality filter that we have on the service, which basically filters down lower quality content. And it basically will ensure that that kind of content is not showing on your timeline. We also have a system of downranking. So if there are certain, number of replies that you get on every tweet, and some of those replies may be abusive or, for lower quality, they will be automatically downranked basis the relevance to what you are viewing from your account or handle. Hide replies is what I was just talking about, that, this is a feature that we introduced last year, wherein people can actually hide the replies that they feel derail the conversation that they want to have. Another new feature that we are introducing for a few set of people, it's already in practice, is new conversation controls. And what that basically means is today, if I tweet and I tag Shruti and Sunil sir in that, I have the option of selecting that do I want to have a chat only with the two of them? Do I want to allow people to reply to my tweets? So all people who follow me can actually reply. or do I allow any and everyone who is on Twitter to just, come to my account and be able to reply? So these are new experiments that we are doing just to make sure that people have greater flexibility in driving the conversations that they want to have. We also have an enhanced privacy dashboard. And I think, sir, to your point in terms of keeping your data secure and how do you ensure what information gets used, I think this is where the user can directly exercise a lot of control on who, for instance, do you want to receive direct messages from anyone? Do you want to protect your tweets? Do you want to ensure that not everyone is able to engage with those tweets? So these are the kind of controls that we are enabling our users with, so that they also have meaningful control over the data that they share with the people at large. We of course have the option of blocking people if you feel that you don't want to engage with certain kind of people on the service. You always have the option of blocking. We also of course have the option of reporting, and this is a sort of simple layout that I've used. So for instance, if you want to report a particular tweet, this is the kind of form what you see on the corner right, that it'll ask you, okay, help us understand the problem with the tweet. And if you feel that, okay, it is abusive and harmful, and therefore I want to action or report this, and then you sort of cite the reason. Why is it abusive? Is it disrespectful? Is it directing hate? Who is it targeted towards? The form is as simple as this, and you have the option of reporting multiple tweets at one go. So it's not that you can only report one tweet, you can actually report a series of tweets. So I think these are some of the safety features that we allow our users to actually control and manage the conversation that they have. I think, sir, to your question also around, specifically with regards to data about Andhra Pradesh users, I'm afraid as Twitter, we do not have such kind of numbers. We only have global numbers as a company, and that's what we share, in all our Twitter transparency reports as well, and otherwise. So I'll just sort of stop at that, and, of course, Anand, come back to you in case of questions.
Yeah. Thanks, Shagufta. A lot of things I learned about Twitter from you today. And after Sir sums up and gives us his views and his questions, I would like to know about what Twitter is doing to help people, cleans up after them, like the digital footsteps that we keep talking about. Twitter doesn't have a delete or undo feature, right? Yet, when a post is made. So I'd like to talk about that. Sunil sir, to you.
Yeah, after answering your question, yeah, that is right.
All right.
That is very important. Twitter is not having delete feature. This is very, very important.
And about
that's a very long-standing request. Actually, it's not delete. You always have the option of deleting your tweets, but it's the option of edit, which we are referring to. You can't edit a tweet which has been sort of shared. I think we are introducing a lot of, and that's a feedback that continues. But what we are doing is by doing these kind of conversation controls, by giving users more control over who they want to engage with in conversations. You would have also seen a new feature that we've introduced, which is fleets. That you just had a fleeting thought, you want to share that now, and it stays only for 24 hours. So we are doing a lot of experiments. I think the edit button is going to be a long haul. We don't know if that's coming anytime soon, because as Twitter, I think we are designed to be a service wherein people express themselves, and we don't actually see the edit button anytime in the future. So I think the idea is that people should be able to express themselves, and you always have the option of just doing a thread, or maybe doing a quote tweet or changing things, but yes, you will not have the edit button.
The delete button is also important, Shagufta, because later on people may have at one stage at time different political and social ideologies, and over the years they may change. But if you delete your own tweet, what happens is it stays on somebody's timeline. People have all. You cannot actually sanitize the way that way. It is there somewhere online. So how do people, I believe you're going to do some undo feature also right now. There are some coming out beta undo feature. Whereas if you have deleted something, immediately you can delete it. It will not go out. Is there a feature like that?
You actually, the only feature that you have right now is, of course, deleting a tweet. But to your point, wherein you had a change of ideology or something, like I said, one of the best options that we've seen people use is co-tweet, wherein you actually take the parent tweet and put a new, heading or a sort of point of view around that. So you can actually take your own tweets and say, this was my view 5 years ago, and now, perhaps I have a different personal view about it, or I've changed. So those are some of the options that are available.
Thanks, Shagutta. Sunil sir, to you now, over to you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Actually, I would like to sum up a lot of our viewers are actually would like to listen what is happening in Telugu. Just I would like to sum up in Telugu. Before going to that, I would like to ask if it is posted in English. It is very easy. You can use your artificial intelligence also to recognize the objectionable words, harsh words, threatening words. So all those things, it is very easy. But when it comes to the local languages, for example,
దానికోసం ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్గా 2 షిఫ్ట్ల మీద ఇద్దరు ఉంటారు ఇంజనీర్. ఒకడొక షిఫ్ట్, ఇంకొకడొక షిఫ్ట్, 12 అవర్స్ ఎడిటర్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ వీడియోని దాన్ని నీట్గా ఒక నేమ్ పెట్టి రేపు మళ్ళీ ఎడిటర్ కావాలనుకున్నప్పుడు ఆ నేమ్ సెర్చ్ చేస్తాడు, వెంటనే సెకండ్స్లో వీడియో వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు నేను మీకు చెప్తాను ఈ సిస్టమ్. మనం 25th thumbnail ఏంటని అడుగుతాను, నువ్వు చేయగలవా?
Local languages, for example, Telugu or Tamil or Oriya.
Proper naming is
machine learning is not that easy. So how are you dealing with? How do you know if some threatening is happening in regional languages or some?
All of a sudden, ఒక స్టేషన్లో ఒక క్రైమ్ జరిగింది. సో కృష్ణలంక పోలీస్ స్టేషన్లో CA